There are extraordinary places on our planet, but you may find it hard to imagine that, in the most forgotten lands of Africa, the kindness and hospitality of its people is so profound that they even open their homes to strangers and offer their beds to foreign visitors, making this country one of the happiest places on Earth. In this new video from Uncensored World, we will learn more about Malawi, one of the poorest and most extreme countries in Africa, but at the same time one of the most fascinating on the planet. Malawi is a nation with surprising traditions such as Nyumba Tobu, which allows an older woman, usually a widow with no male offspring, to marry a younger woman to ensure the continuity of her lineage. Or Lobola, whereby the groom's family gives animals to the bride's family in order to be accepted, in a society where a man can have as many wives as he can support, without limits. It is a place full of contrasts and surprises, such as being recognized as the cheapest country in Africa, where it is possible to sleep for less than $1, while at the same time there are private islands created for tourists, considered some of the best hotels in the world. It is a country with festivals that are unique on the planet, with giant masks over 2 meters tall, and rituals in which some people seem to enter trances from which they cannot escape. Pay attention, and don't miss this new video from Uncensored World to learn about one of the most mysterious countries on Earth. Let's get started. Malawi, whose capital is Lilongwe, is a small landlocked country located in the southeastern region of the African continent, nestled in the Great Rift Valley. It is a fascinating and contrasting territory, known for its mountainous landscapes, vast lakes, and the extraordinary warmth of its people. This African country has an area of approximately 118,000 square kilometers, bordered by Tanzania to the north, Zambia to the west, and Mozambique to the south and east. Its elongated shape, stretching from north to south, follows the course of a natural jewel that defines it completely: Lake Malawi. Lake Malawi, also known as Lake Nyasa, is one of Africa's most impressive natural wonders and one of the largest lakes in the world. Its size is so monumental that it represents almost a fifth of the country's total area. It is the third largest lake on the continent and the second deepest after Lake Tanganyika. Its crystal clear waters are home to more species of fish than any other lake on the planet, especially colorful cichlids, making it a paradise for biologists and divers. Malawi's landscapes combine lush green mountains, fertile plateaus, and wide valleys that descend to the lake's beaches. Among the most breathtaking places are Mount Mulanje, a huge mass of granite that rises more than 3,000 meters above sea level, and the Zomba Plateau, famous for its pine forests and seemingly endless panoramic views. Despite its extraordinary natural beauty, Malawi has for decades been considered one of the poorest countries on the planet. Malawi's economy is mainly based on agriculture. Almost everything revolves around the land. More than 80% of its population works in the fields, growing what they eat and selling what little is left over. Tobacco, tea, and sugar are its main export products, although in smaller villages people live off corn, vegetables, or fishing on the lake. Despite their hard work, most Malawians earn very little. For years, the value of their currency, the kwacha, has remained so low that a single dollar is worth thousands of kwachas. In local markets, just a few coins can buy fruit, bread, or even a full meal. But that same fragility means that when prices rise or crops fail, life becomes more difficult for everyone. Droughts are a constant enemy. When the rain fails to come, the fields crack, crops are lost, and food becomes scarce. In many villages, people walk several miles every day to fetch water or firewood. Yet even amid these hardships, Malawians show admirable creativity and resilience. This lack of resources has not been an obstacle to their ingenuity, quite the contrary. In some rural schools where there is no electricity, teachers and students have come up with surprising solutions. They use plastic bottles filled with water and bleach placed on tin roofs to refract sunlight and illuminate classrooms, a simple but effective technique that replaces light bulbs. In the most remote villages, children also make their own toys from recycled materials, cars made from wire, balls made from plastic bags, kites made from paper and cane. Bicycles, often old and patched up, are used not only for transportation, but also to carry water, take products to market, or even as improvised taxis when someone needs a ride. Markets are the heart of daily life. Amid laughter and haggling, these colorful markets sell everything from tropical fruits to charcoal and second-hand clothing from Europe. In many of them, money is not always necessary, as bartering is still common. You can exchange a handful of corn for some soap or some vegetables for a piece of fish. Despite being one of the poorest countries in the world, people in Malawi find ways to maintain their dignity and joy. On market days or during local celebrations, music and dance fill the air. A drum or an old radio is enough to get a whole group dancing until sunset. Faced with difficulties, far from giving up, many Malawians rely on their community for support. If a family has nothing to eat, it is common for neighbors to share their food without asking for anything in return. This solidarity, born of necessity, is also a form of wealth. Probably because of all this, Malawi is known worldwide as the warm heart of Africa, a name that is not just a tourist slogan, but a reflection of the personality of its people. In this country, where material poverty is evident, joy and generosity are endless, proving that happiness is not at odds with poverty but in many ways flourishes precisely in the midst of it. Here, hospitality goes far beyond courtesy. For Malawians, welcoming a visitor is an honor and a responsibility. It doesn't matter if a tourist, a foreigner, or a neighbor from another village arrives. There will always be a warm greeting, a smile, and an invitation to come in. It is therefore common for hosts to offer water, food, and even a place to sleep, even if their own resources are scarce. In many rural areas, this hospitality reaches surprising levels. Malawians not only invite strangers into their homes, they often share or give up their own beds for the guest to rest, while they sleep on the floor or outside. They do not do this out of forced courtesy, but out of cultural conviction, as they believe that the guest should feel like part of the family. The sense of community is deeply rooted. When someone arrives from a trip, neighbors gather to welcome them, share a meal, or simply chat. If a tourist gets lost, it is rare for much time to pass before someone offers help or company. Even in the smallest villages, where there are no hotels or restaurants, there's always an open door and a shared table. Thinking about this sense of community and how easy it is to give and receive happiness, we would like to ask you for a like. By doing so, you help us greatly to continue working every week to help you discover the world, so thank you. In a country where many have little, generosity has become a form of resistance. Sharing what you have, no matter how little, is a way of affirming human dignity in the face of scarcity. In addition to its hospitality, Malawi is surprising for another reason. It is one of the cheapest countries on the planet. The cost of daily life is so low that it is difficult to imagine for those coming from abroad. In larger cities such as Lilongwe or Blantyre, you can find hotel accommodation for less than $1 a night, and a full meal can cost the same as a coffee in Europe or America. In the markets, money goes further than it seems possible, as with just a few coins you can buy fresh fruit, bread, or fish straight from the lake. Transportation is also incredibly cheap. Minibuses, called matolas, travel for miles for a few cents, and bicycle taxis are a means of livelihood and mobility for thousands of people. As you can see, the low cost of living does not mean a lack of human quality or natural beauty. On the contrary, that is why at the end of the video we will help you understand how to travel and enjoy this fascinating country to the fullest. For all these reasons, those who visit Malawi often describe it as a small, poor, and simple country, but one that is impossible to forget. A country where, even with so little, life remains deeply generous. Today, although the economy remains fragile, the creativity of its people keeps the country moving forward, which is why, in recent years, the country has begun to experience slow but steady growth. Factors that could make Malawi an emerging destination for tourism and sustainable investment on the African continent include its friendly and hospitable people, its unspoiled natural beauty, and its low cost of living, which makes it accessible to almost any traveler. It offers everything from mountain landscapes and nature reserves to the crystal-clear waters of Lake Malawi, one of Africa's greatest treasures, all in an environment where life is simple and human warmth envelops everything. In addition, Malawi is considered one of the safest countries on the continent, realities that suggest that in the future, this small country could become a benchmark for tourism in Africa. The country has a population of over 20 million, concentrated mainly in rural areas. This gives it one of the highest population densities in sub-Saharan Africa, especially in the fertile southern regions, where towns and villages follow one another without interruption along the red dirt roads. Malawi is a veritable mosaic of ethnic groups and tribes, with more than a dozen different groups living side by side, the most numerous being the Chewa, Tumbuka, Yao, Lomwe, and Ngoni. Each group retains its own languages, traditions, and customs, some of which are truly controversial, as you will soon discover. Malawi, like many other African countries, was the scene of European colonial division in the 19th century. In 1891, the United Kingdom established the Nyasaland Protectorate, under the influence of British missionaries and traders seeking to control the inland routes. For more than 70 years, the country was under colonial rule, until it gained independence in 1964 and adopted its current name of Malawi. The name Malawi comes from the local word Mara Uwe, or Malawi, which roughly means land of sunshine or land of light in some Bantu languages of the region, although there are variations depending on the ethnic group interpreting it. This name reflects the country's brightness, its brilliant landscape, and the warmth of its people, and also symbolizes the hope for an independent and prosperous future after decades under colonial rule. Adopting the name Malawi was a way of regaining cultural identity and asserting national sovereignty after the long period of Nyasaland, always remembering the importance of its traditions, its unique geography, and the strength of its people. This long colonial period left a mixed legacy. On the one hand, the introduction of education in the English language. On the other, an economy structured to serve external interests, focused on the export of agricultural raw materials and with little internal industrialization. Because of this, English and Chichewa are the two official languages in Malawi. The former, a legacy of the colonial past, is used in administration and education, while Chichewa, a highly musical Bantu language, is the most widely spoken language in everyday life and is understood by the majority of the population. This helps to understand that, despite European attempts to subjugate and transform the country's customs, fortunately they did not succeed, and today truly fascinating realities remain in the daily life of its ethnic groups, as well as in its festivities and traditions. Among these realities are practices that are controversial or little known outside the country, such as polygamy, which allows Malawian men to have several wives without any limit, as long as they have the necessary resources to support their family. Lobola, or dowry, is therefore a central element in social life, as it is the most common way to find a wife. Lobola consists of the groom's family giving cattle, money, or other goods to the bride's family as a symbol of respect and commitment. The greater the man's resources, the more significant the dowry and the greater his chances of getting married, reflecting not only personal interest but also the intention to strengthen alliances between families and communities. In Chewa culture and other ethnic groups in the country, polygamy is not understood simply as a man's desire or power, but as a system that reinforces family cooperation and ensures survival in societies where resources may be limited. Having multiple wives requires that they all live in a coordinated and cooperative manner, sharing responsibilities in the home and in raising children. Although polygamy is common, women have a voice in this system. Their acceptance is necessary, and in many families, collaboration and mutual respect among wives is encouraged. Over time, each woman finds her place within the extended family, and important decisions are often made jointly or with the guidance of older wives. These traditions, which may seem surprising to other cultures, have a profound meaning. They seek to ensure social cohesion, solidarity, and collective well-being, especially in a country where poverty and economic hardship are part of everyday life. Beyond these customs, Malawi remains a country where festivities, music, dance, and rituals are still alive, passed down from generation to generation as a sign of identity and cultural resilience. Initiation ceremonies and Lobola rituals are a reminder of the importance of community and how each individual contributes to the whole. Among Malawi's most striking festivities is the Nyumba festival, a visual spectacle that combines giant masks up to 2 meters high with colorful costumes and ritual dances. These masks represent ancestral spirits, animals, or warriors, and the dancers' movements follow codes passed down from generation to generation for centuries. What makes Nyumba especially interesting for visitors is how it blends art, tradition, and mysticism. The masks seem to come to life. The dancers move to the beat of drums, and their identities remain hidden, creating an aura of mystery and wonder that impresses even those seeing it for the first time. But probably darker and more frightening, though equally fascinating, is the Vimbuza festival, a spiritual healing ritual that includes a reality that few know and many fear: trance. During these ceremonies, some people seem to enter states where they temporarily lose control, moving or speaking as if possessed, which generates awe and respect among those present. The curious thing about Vimbuza is that while for those who participate it is a moment of spiritual cleansing and balance, for observers it can be disturbing. It is believed that trances allow spirits to communicate, guide, or heal, and that not everyone who enters them can control what they say or do. These festivals are a reminder that Malawian culture is deeply linked to community, history, and connection with ancestors. A connection as fascinating as what is probably the most controversial tradition of all, known as Nyumba Ntobhu, which translates as the house without a man. This practice is more common in Tanzania and Kenya, especially among the Kuria tribe that inhabits northern Tanzania and southwestern Kenya, although some voices indicate that in remote villages in Malawi, formed by communities that migrated from these regions, it could also be maintained in a residual manner. The tradition is known as Nyumba Ntobhu, which means the house without a man, and mainly involves older women, widows, or single mothers who have not had male offspring, hence the name. The aim of this tradition is to preserve the lineage and guarantee the family inheritance, since in Kuria culture only male children can inherit property. To this end, the older woman symbolically marries a younger woman, called a mokamuna, or daughter-in-law, who becomes part of the older woman's family and lineage. You may wonder how male offspring are ensured in a context where there is no assisted reproduction or technologies such as in vitro fertilization. The answer is that the young woman has intimate relations with an outside man, and the children resulting from that union are legally and socially considered heirs of the older woman. Thus, the continuity of the lineage is ensured within the community. In many cases, this man is not a formal husband or part of the older woman's family, but someone selected by the community to fulfill this function exclusively, and sometimes he may be the same person who participates in several of these unions within the village. As for the relationship between women, tradition allows for very close and affectionate bonds to coexist, but intimate relationships between them are not common since, as you can understand, this is not the main focus of the tradition, but rather lineage and inheritance. Although it is accepted and respected within these communities, Nyumba Ntobhu is not recognized by modern law in many countries, and has been the subject of debate, mainly because of the risks it poses to women's health and the unconventional nature of this form of marriage. However, for the communities that practice it, it is a social and cultural solution that has allowed them to maintain family lineages and assets for generations. At this point, we would like to ask you, what do you think of this tradition of marriage between women? How much would you be willing to give to get the woman of your dreams? What do you think your dowry would be? Or how much should they give for you to get you? Or what has surprised you most about Malawi? Pause the video and leave us your comment. You know that doing so is the best way to support Uncensored World so that we can continue to bring you the best content, so thank you. As you can see, Malawi is an amazing place that maintains fascinating realities and traditions. As you will see, some of them also have to do with tourists, as this country has an entire island known as Mumbo Island, created entirely for tourists seeking an exclusive experience in the heart of Lake Malawi. Mumbo Island is located within Lake Malawi National Park, a protected area that is home to exceptional biodiversity and unspoiled landscapes. The island was developed as an exclusive eco-camp, designed to offer tourists an experience of total isolation in an unspoiled natural environment, without modern interference and with a strong respect for the environment. For this reason, the accommodations are built with local materials such as wood, canvas, and cane, allowing visitors to feel completely integrated with nature. To reach Mumbo, tourists can start their journey from Cape Maclaire, a small tourist town located on the Mangochi Peninsula on the southern shore of Lake Malawi. This place is not a big city, but a coastal community known for its white sand beaches, relaxed atmosphere, and proximity to diving and snorkeling areas. From here, you can take a kayak trip to Mumbo, a journey of approximately 2 hours that offers spectacular views of the lake and its surroundings. It is also possible to arrive by boat, which adds a more peaceful and picturesque touch to the journey, allowing visitors to enjoy the scenery, aquatic life, and calm of the lake from the very beginning. Once on the island, visitors can enjoy a variety of water and outdoor activities. Snorkeling and diving allow you to explore the lake's rich biodiversity of fish, while kayaking around the island offers a closer experience with nature. In addition, there are also hiking trails that allow you to explore the local flora and enjoy the tranquility of the surroundings, making this place an ideal destination for both adventurers and those seeking complete relaxation. The most striking thing about Mumbo Island is that it has been chosen as one of the 100 best hotels in the world by Sunday Times Travel magazine, reflecting a unique combination of luxury and isolation. Although it is a small, eco-friendly camp, the island offers an exclusive experience. Only a small number of guests can stay at the same time, ensuring total privacy and the feeling of being in a secluded retreat. This exclusivity comes at a price, as staying on Mumbo Island is not as cheap as dollar hotels, although the prices are not too expensive either, as sleeping in a chalet costs less than $100 a night, and eating as much as you want has a maximum price of $70 for a full day. If you've made it this far, you're probably interested in knowing how to get there and enjoy this fascinating country to the fullest. That's why we at Uncensored World have done our research and now bring you the best information to plan your trip easily and safely. Malawi is mainly visited by arriving at Kamuzu International Airport in the capital Lilongwe, which is the point of entry for most travelers. There are no direct flights from Europe, but you can connect through airports such as Istanbul, Addis Ababa, or Johannesburg, while from America it is most common to pass through Europe or South Africa to reach the country. Most travelers need a visa, which can be applied for online through the official e-visa portal of the Malawian government. This visa is usually valid for 3 months and is a single-entry visa, and it is important to check the requirements according to your nationality before traveling. To get around the country, Malawi offers several options: buses for long journeys, minibuses for short distances, and taxis or tuk-tuks in cities. To explore national parks or more remote areas, it is best to book organized tours that include transportation and a guide. In terms of safety, Malawi is considered one of the safest countries in Africa. The friendliness of its people and low crime rate make traveling here peaceful, although, as anywhere, it is advisable to take basic precautions, such as not walking at night in poorly lit areas, taking care of your belongings, and hiring authorized local guides for excursions. In terms of costs, a night in a mid-range hotel for 2 people can cost between $66 and $154, while in cheaper hotels it is possible to sleep for $1. A meal in a simple restaurant costs around $5, and a meal for two in a mid-range restaurant costs between $15 and $39. Tours and activities are also inexpensive and varied. For example, a one-day safari in a national park can cost between $100 and $200 per person, including transportation and a guide, while simpler activities such as kayaking or walking along the shores of Lake Malawi are much cheaper and allow you to enjoy the country's natural beauty. As you can see, planning a trip to Malawi is relatively easy if you have the right information. It is a fascinating country that combines safety, culture, nature, and hospitality that is unique in the world. If you enjoyed this video and are not yet subscribed to Uncensored World, don't wait any longer and do so now by activating the bell so you don't miss the fascinating videos we make every week. Videos like this one that you can enjoy now to discover one of the most enigmatic corners of the planet. Don't miss out and discover the wonders this place has to offer.